Hey, my name is Aries, and I'm documenting my journey to get fit-ish. I want to start by saying thank you so much for all the love and support on my last video. It felt scary to make, and so it was really nice to see that it was well received. If you haven't watched it yet, it was talking about my journey so far with trying to figure out what's going on. I have a feeling that my hormones are very off, and I've been trying very hard to get that checked out, get that looked at seriously by our health professionals, and find a solution and move forward. So this is just going to be another follow-up, I guess, or just how the week's been and that kind of thing. So for a very long time, I have been struggling with no results. And not just no results, but negative results. So even though I was working out at Orange Theory multiple times a week, taking good rest days and focusing on good food, it didn't seem to matter. Not only was the scale staying the same, but it felt like my stomach was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and protruding more and more and getting an overhang flap, which I've never had before in all of the times that I've gained an excess amount of weight. And that was kind of scary because nothing was adding up. Nothing was making sense. Nothing was adding up. So things that I've been doing for food lately is we're aiming towards 1,800 calories because I was sitting at 245 pounds, give or take. Little up, little down, whatever, in and around that 245 pounds. So with all of the calculators, and we tried multiple ones to make sure that it wasn't factoring in something different or had a weird calculation. Almost every single one said that to maintain my weight, should be eating at 2,700 calories. Obviously, I don't want to maintain my weight. So we decided to go with a very drastic calorie deficit down to 1,800 calories. Now, I get that most people recommend not doing such an extreme deficit, but there's no way I can handle eating 2,700 calories unless it's crap food, and I don't want to eat crap food. So we were aiming at 1,800 so that it wasn't so low that we were risking being in that starvation mode territory, or we were risking being in that not giving my body enough fuel to do the workouts I was doing. And we were pretty strict about it. Mike did a ton of work at plugging everything into MyFitnessPal. I was using an app called, what was it called? It was a different one. I can't remember what it was called. It has an orange label, or little icon. I can't think of what it is. But anyways, we were using two different apps and comparing what the calories were saying on different meals, because things like the chef's plate meals that we do, we were finding a difference in the calorie counts that was being given to us. So on the chef's plates information, it would tell us one set of calories. If we plugged all the ingredients into the two different apps, it would tell us a completely different set. So we were trying to average out and figure out how to do all of this. And these are the things why I get so frustrated with calorie counting, because there's never a real number. It's so frustrating. And then I started researching watching a lot of podcasts and videos of people talking about calories and what it all means and what like you need to focus on. And we were doing so much, so much work. We were strict with it, and we were cooking things like a chicken breast with roasted broccoli and maybe carrots. That was one meal. And then another meal would be a pork chop with asparagus and green beans. Or, you know, it was pretty consistently like at least one veggie, but sometimes two veggies and a protein. And the protein we tried to get as, you know, a biggest chunk as possible that was like edible, you know, like I didn't want to be like shoving down like 6 chicken breasts just to get protein in. But every meal had protein in it. I would wake up, I would have a Premier protein shake. Now these aren't like the best because they're like pre-made, and nutritionists do actually recommend that you make your own protein shakes. But I'm busy. I have a very busy work schedule that takes up a lot of my time. And then I'm trying to add in the working out and living life. So the convenience of them is worth it to me. So I would wake up, I would have one of those. I would go into a workout at Orange Theory, which is an hour-long, high-intensity interval training that incorporates cardio for half the class and weight training for half the class. Amazing workouts. I absolutely love them. On average, I'm burning anywhere from like 500 calories up to 600 calories. Again, that's an estimated target because every calorie counter is off slightly. My Garmin would tell me a different thing than the heart rate monitor at Orange Theory would tell me. And there's probably truth somewhere in the middle or somewhere outside of that. Who knows? So again, all of these numbers are just like, you know, take them with a grain of salt. Nothing is like super concrete or that simple. And then I would have protein bar at some point. I would do veggies or fruits as my snacks. And I would have 2 teas a day just because I enjoy the flavor of them. So this was happening since I came back from my vacation. I had a vacation in January for my birthday. We went to Europe. It was absolutely incredible, very much needed. It was a very busy trip, and we shoved a lot all into a very short period of time. We flew into Amsterdam, spent a day there. Then we drove down to Bruges in Belgium. Absolutely love Bruges. I've been to all of these places, but it was Mike's first time, so it was really cool to like experience it with somebody else and to go back to these places. From Bruges, we drove down to Paris, spent some time in Paris, and then we drove back up to Amsterdam, spent a little bit of time there before flying home. And this was only about like a 6-ish day trip, so it was a lot all in one little time frame. I had planned to film. I brought all of my gear to film. And once we were there, I just wanted it to be about us enjoying the moment and living in the moment instead of trying to think about what to shoot and what to say and what to do and what not. So we just had a trip for us, which was wonderful. As soon as we came back, we were all in. So I think that was like January 21st that we came back. And since then, it has been on the money. If I've gone out with friends, then I've like skipped meals or made smaller meals or like super low calorie meals in leading up to that like dinner or lunch or whatever to like give myself room so that I'm still sticking within that 1800 calorie mark, but maybe the protein was off that day or whatever it was. But we were like really strict and nothing was changing. And you can only do it for so long before you get really frustrated and really down on yourself before you have to start asking what else is happening. So that was kind of what was leading towards like, okay, what's going on? Now, I had already clued in that my hormones might be off before that January trip. And I had gone for the blood test with my actual doctor at the very beginning of January. So coming back, that's when it was like, okay, we got to figure out something else. So I've gone to a naturopath. I just had my second appointment with them and did a 3-week update since starting all of their recommendations. And them and myself are very happy with where things are at. So little minor improvements. I take an adaptogen in the morning, every morning. And that is to help with my stress. And something else, mostly stress, I think, and an overall boost. And then at night, I take a magnesium biglycerate, and that's to help with my sleep, my headaches, and anxiety. And then I have been doing a licorice chew, and the licorice chew takes out the component that causes potential high blood pressure, I think it is. Anyways, for heartburn, because I would get intense heartburn a lot. And all 3 things have given a little bit of boosts. And then I also do the seed cycling, which I've been doing since before my initial meeting with them. So yesterday's meeting was an update on how things are going, how I'm feeling, making sure that nothing was causing any adverse side effects or anything like that. They're very happy with the little improvements I've been seeing, and they said it's exactly where I should be for how long I've been taking things. So we haven't modified anything. We're going to continue doing what I've been doing. In that 3-week period is when I had bronchitis, so I wasn't able to work out. Before I got bronchitis, I had spiked on the scale to 247 pounds. After doing the supplements that they had recommended with my workouts and whatnot, in almost a week and a half, I was able to get the scale down to 240.7, which the fact that there was that much movement at all, it hasn't happened in literally since October, maybe even September. That has been unheard of. I have maybe gone up 2, down 2, up 1, down 1, up 3, down 2. That's it. But to go from 247 down to 240.7 is that was huge. And then I got bronchitis and I couldn't work out. So I ended up climbing up again to 245. And since getting back now, that was also because I was dealing with some emotional things. I had some emotional eating. So I did make some mistakes this past week. I'm not going to get into it, but that's fine. So I got back up to 245. And then this morning I was back down to 242.6, I think. So now that I've worked out a couple days, I had the Lift 45 class on Sunday. I did an Orange Theory workout yesterday, and I literally just came home from a workout right now. I'm starting to see a drop again. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen now that I can get back into consistent workouts while doing the consistent eating and doing these supplements with the seed cycling, and really just hone in everything, and hopefully things start trending in the same direction they're kind of trending now. I'm getting married in September, and I really want to feel good on that wedding day. We're going to be going out and eloping out west in the Rocky Mountains, and I want to look back on the photos and enjoy them for everything that they are, and not be that little arm fat or whatever it may be. So I don't need to get to goal weight before September. I just need to get a little bit better. I have noticed that my stomach doesn't seem to be as flappy. So I do feel even though the scale's not moving super crazy well, I do feel there's changes measurements wise, and I really wish that I would have just taken measurements when I was at those really low moments. But like I explained in the last video, I didn't want to be on camera. I didn't want to take photos. I didn't want to take measurements. I wanted nothing to do with how things were going, and mentally I just didn't have the capacity to document it. Now that I'm out of that space, I wish I did, so that I could actually concrete see if things were changing instead of just going off of feel. So, you know, if you're in it, it's hard, it's frustrating, but it can be helpful down the road when things start moving and you want to be able to check things. But yeah, so that's my update. It feels good to be back into working out again. My lungs are still a little frustrated with me. So if I push it in like too many high intensity running, then they start to say, whoa, that's enough. So I've had to take a couple breaks. I've had to cough up some phlegm a couple times, but that's better than not doing anything at all. I do really want to start trying to do like a daily walk, so that it's not too taxing on my lungs or my body while I get back into, but it's something I can do daily to add in and see if that can really jumpstart things as well. You know, I'll vary it. I'm not going to like commit to like a 12-30 every single day, but like maybe it's an indoor walk on the treadmill at a flat road for, you know, whatever the time frame. Then the next day I can do inclines. The next day I can do outside. The next day, maybe the Orange Theory workout counts as it, whatever it is, right? But try and do a walk daily for the next little bit and see if that helps. So that might be a video coming up. And yeah, if you guys want to see anything or like have any questions, please let me please let me know. I'd love to share more. I'm thinking about getting some short videos done, so we'll see if that turns into anything. But yeah, I'm excited to be back. I'm excited that there is some kind of progress, and that there's just like hope again. So thanks for putting up with my like, you know, crazy rant or talk or whatever it is, and I hope you all have a fantastic week and that I will see you again soon. So bye.